Our next honoree has enjoyed success at the highest levels, both in competition and in his community. Danny Wuerffel truly defined the word champion during his career at the University of Florida. Please direct your attention once again to the video screens and Dick Enberg.
Wuerffel helped the Florida Gators take a big bite out of the college world during one of the most highly decorated careers a collegiate quarterback has ever enjoyed. Wuerffel reached the summit of success both on the field and in the classroom during many sunny days in Gainesville as he guided the Gators to the 1996 National Championship, a 52-20 win over rival Florida State in the Sugar Bowl, just a few short weeks after joining his old ball coach Steve Spurrier as Florida's second Heisman Trophy winner. A two-time first-team GTE Academic All-America during his junior and senior campaigns, Danny threw for nearly 11,000 yards in his career, including over 3,600 to go with 39 touchdowns during his memorable senior season. 11,000 yards, that's over 2 miles worth of throws. Oh my. He led Florida to 4 straight SEC titles and back-to-back berths in the national championship game. 2 years ago, Wuerffel took his rightful place among the gridiron greats with induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. After a 5-year NFL career, 3 of which were spent with the New Orleans Saints, Wuerffel was the most valuable player of World Bowl 2000 while playing with the Rhine Fire of NFL Europe. He was inducted into his alma mater's Athletic Hall of Fame in 2006. Today, Danny is an active member of the New Orleans community and serves as director of Desire Street Ministries, whose goal is to transform impoverished neighborhoods into flourishing, healthy communities across the nation. Undaunted after Hurricane Katrina destroyed both his home and Desire Street's facilities, Wuerffel drew national attention to his efforts to rebuild the ministries and to assist in rebuilding the city of New Orleans and the region as well. The University of Florida has always enjoyed a rich tradition of athletic success and academic prowess. And tonight, such Gator luminaries as Carlos Alvarez, Cris Collinsworth, and Elfie Schlegel are joined by Danny Wuerffel with his induction into the Capital One Academic All-America Hall of Fame. Danny Wuerffel.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Florida, Danny Wuerffel.
My wife said, don't forget your plaque.
Don't forget the plaque. Danny's smart quarterback. Yeah, smart. Show him your tie, Danny. Showing a little school spirit down at the bottom. I don't know if, can the camera zoom on that a little bit? Have a look at Danny's tie. He's got a little gator down at the bottom, showing the school spirit and pride. And you heard Dick mention the Gator luminaries who have been inducted into this Capital One Academic All-America Hall of Fame. What is it about the Florida experience that has allowed so many people to excel both athletically and academically?
Well, when I was choosing what school to go to, one of the reasons I picked Florida was I thought if I wasn't playing football, the schools I was looking at, which school did I have in the highest regard? And it was Florida. And I think being there, and a lot of schools do this. It's not just Florida, but the way the Office of Student Life was so supportive of the academic program, really working hard with especially the freshmen and the study halls and getting you in the right classrooms and kind of holding you accountable, all those things. The support system there is incredible, and I think that's got a lot of reason why there's so many guys that have done well.
Every other Florida quarterback that I know, and I know several, and particularly close to Jesse Palmer, they all say that Spurrier acts as if you never made a mistake. And for Danny did it right. You don't want to do it that way. We'll just run the ball. Just run it. What was it that allowed you to find that relationship with Coach Spurrier, where he trusted you as much as he did?
Well, for me, the things that Coach Spurrier offered in his offense, I mean, you had to be smart and make very quick decisions, and you had to be accurate. There's other offenses that you may have had to be a better athlete, or you may have a stronger arm. I never had the strongest arm, but I was accurate and it could make quick decisions. So I think it was a perfect perfect place for me to be. And, I mean, when I was playing, I couldn't do anything right, and then as soon as you're gone, then all of a sudden you're elevated so high. But that's probably common in a lot of places.
Full disclosure, there's not a coach in college football that I enjoy visiting with or hearing stories about other than your coach. Well, when somebody asks you, give me your best Spurrier story, what's your go-to Spurrier story that involves you?
Involves me?
Yeah.
Well, my first interception, the receiver, at least I thought, cut the route a little short. So the ball sailed over his head, it's intercepted, and you wonder if he saw that or not. And so you're going to the sideline, and he's often not happy when the interception. So I get there, and he walks up, he goes, Danny, it's not your fault. It's like, whew. And then he said, it's my fault for putting you in there. And he pinched me. So that's like a joke in our family. Even my 6 and 8-year-old know that. Dad, it's not your fault. It's our fault for letting you drive or whatever.
During your final year at Florida, a remarkable run, a Heisman Trophy, a Campbell Trophy, which is the academic Heisman. I'm sure most of you know that, national championship. How would you describe what that span of a month was like for you?
Definite whirlwind. I mean, kind of going into the end of the season, we were ranked number 1. We lost to Florida State the last game of the regular season. So you kind of think it's all over with. Then a lot of things happened. We beat Alabama, and then all the awards kind of hit right in then, and then the national championship. And so it really was a blur, a lot of that. And one of the reasons it's been so special over this past year, being inducted into the Football Hall of Fame and now this, is just being a little bit older, you get a chance to look back and reflect, because then you're going from this thing to the next thing to the next thing. As Shane said, the way you stay on top of your game is you don't ever look at what just happened. You're always looking at what's next. Mm-hmm. But then you also don't often get the chance to reflect on some things. And so, now that I'm older and looking back, it's been really special.
You've been very prominent, very vocal with your faith and your willingness to minister to other people. You already had a ministry going prior to Katrina, correct? How did Hurricane Katrina impact your vision of what you wanted to accomplish?
Well, the name Katrina actually means cleansing or purification. And while there certainly was and continues to be a lot of people that suffered far, far greater than anything that we did, I think there was a sense in which that for the city and then for us individually and also for Desire Street kind of pushed us in a direction that we wanted to go. When I got to New Orleans, I didn't start Desire Street. I just became involved and volunteered. And just the dream was always there to grow. But like in so many places, the needs were so strong in that one inner city neighborhood that just never seemed to happen. So what happened was really it washed us out of New Orleans. It forced us to rebuild and relaunch some things there, which we are, but then think about how do we take this idea, this model of inner city transformation to other places. And so now we actually live in Atlanta, and we're working all across the Southeast. And so it was a very difficult thing for me and my wife. My wife's a champion. She's one of the most simple, frugal people I know, and she was happy to get rid of a lot of stuff because she likes to live simple, so she was a trooper through that process. But it's really kind of forced us forward in our mission at Desire Street.
Why the inner city? Why did that speak to you as opposed to a foreign country or some other place where you might have been able to help?
It really wasn't like a decision. It just sort of unfolded. I think of life often as just looking at the next right step. And I got to New Orleans thinking about being a part of something. As a Christian, I thought of my life not just as a vocation, but as calling and where do you go? And it was just kind of a random thing that I got involved there and volunteering. Thought I'd, like a lot of guys, while I'm in the city, I'll do something here. And it just kind of got a hold of me and got a hold of my wife. And that's why we made that a life calling.
When you have an opportunity to work with young people, how do your accomplishments resonate with them, whether it's on the field or academically or otherwise?
Well, I mean, a lot of people get pretty excited about that or want to meet you or see that, but I also love the stories where, there's a crew interviewing some of the kids a while back, and they're talking. They say, so what's it like to have Danny here? And they're like, yeah, Danny, he's great. And they're like, well, the football player, the Heisman. They're like, what? What? So some of that's exciting too, just to kind of be known not just for that as well. I think probably what what that has brought into this life that we're living is it opens more doors on the outside to get more people aware of what we're doing and supportive of what we're doing. And, people return your phone calls when you call them and that sort of thing. I think it's had more an impact kind of on the outside world than kind of on the core of the inside.
When you look at now at your life after football, as a football player, how difficult was that to make that transition after all of the accolades and all of the success that you had?
Well, I can relate with a lot of people said already tonight, the competition, that piece of missing competition and having so much of my life just fueled by that energy of competing. And what do you do with that? How do you manage that? So that's a question I ask myself. What's my relationship with competition now, and how do I unpack that? I think it was, really good to have something to step into. And I was really excited about getting involved in Desire Street. And honestly, I wasn't, like Shane, a star in the pros, so I did a lot of watching and a lot of sitting, and it was pretty bored. You have ideas and no one listens to you, and you're like, let's try that play, and they're like, no, we're not doing that. So it was kind of fun to start something where I had an idea, like we've got a group of kids that didn't have a place to exercise or work out, high school kids, and so to think of an idea and then to make some calls and to have a weight room equipment delivered a week later, it's pretty exciting. So there was a lot of energy I have. The other thing, love the camaraderie of the team and the diversity of a team, which you don't get in a lot of places. But in the work that I'm in, I get to be a part of a lot of different worlds, and I really am excited about that. But I do miss the competition.
How do you get them? It's easy to get them excited about new weight room equipment, about playing ball. How do you get them as excited about the academic side?
Well, it's kind of like with your kids. You kind of sometimes when people they want this. But this might be what they need as much or more. You try to wrap it around, give people what they need in the context of what they want, and have those carrots out there. And one of the things we're really excited about is we had run an inner city school for several years, and this past May we had 5 of those kids graduate from college. So that's a pretty exciting thing.
It is very exciting. Danny, congratulations on this honor.
Thank you, and I'll thank my wife for
the
reminding me of my plaque.